Welcome back to Tales from Aelithia. For many of our stories, we take an objective perspective of the good-hearted and good-willed, seeing the heroes of old, the heroes of the story. But a question can then be asked: what if we looked at the other side, at the bad guys? For this tale, we seek to answer that very question. We find ourselves in the midst of Nexus City in the year 7309, on the 7th of Tronif, at Nebula Corps, a private-owned research facility and major laboratory for the western coast of Upilisu, with an extensive list of government subsidiaries and contracts. However, behind the scenes of this corporation, we discover that this is all simply a front for a greater organization at work, the Undershadows. We present to you a short story, Heist of Goldvault. War rages on. Esmeen versus Pupilisu. As ships collide in the harbor, the siege bitterly unbreaking. We view Nebula Corps, a secret operations base of the Undershadows. Beyond the research labs, beneath the surface of the city, level 9, we see agents moving about, hustling to their stations, responding to the war they incited, all part of a greater master plan. But that is not the focus of our story today. We instead see a briefing room, a team of 4 agents sitting here. In this room is Greeth, the rogue goblin. Next to him is Grimble, the gnome bard. On the other side of the table, sitting down, is Billy, the blue dragonborn paladin. And finally, in the last chair, Albatross, the Kinku warlock. The large oak door opens quickly, with haste. Chakub Grimfang, the half-orc, better known to all of these agents as Number 3, steps into the room, muttering a hearty "Good afternoon, agents." Following him into the room is the Dark Dragonborn, best known as the Shadow Fist. The Dragonborn says, "Agents, Number 3, along with the rest of the 4, would like to congratulate you on being selected for this task. I was off elsewhere handling personal matters and appreciate that you were able to step in for this assignment. In the guise of war, an opportunity has presented to us. You must all now be quite aware of the powerful relics we often hunt, and this assignment has been in our sights for some time. Number 3, the floor is yours." The Shadowfist gestures to Mr. Grimfang. The half-orc steps closer to the table and begins to speak. "The Runes of Asgorath, a legendary armament from long ago, is held on the most secure floor of the Goldvault in the Kingdom of Luxtrax. Normally, we would be unable to even consider the opportunity an option of infiltration, as Winsal, Luxtrax, and Bupilisu guards make rounds on the facility. But with this carefully orchestrated war effort, both Bupilisu and Winsal have called their forces away to defend their homeland, leaving the facility understaffed and vulnerable." The half-orc waves his hand, signaling the Shadow Fist to do something. The table flickers on, a magical and arcane projection. A small illusion depicting the Goldvault glows to life. Surrounded by the city proper of Goldvault, a 700-foot-tall inverted dome of reinforced stone and metal rises from the plains surrounding the area, topped by a castle-like fortress with 3 towers. An impressive magical barrier prevents teleportation and magic of the like from getting in or out of the fortress. The only way into the facility is from the main gate, which can only be accessed by shuttle pad from a ground terminal within the city. The facility would likely be staffed by 13,000 troops, but with the current situation, the Undershadows believes that number is likely down to 7,000. The facility is organized into layers, with 7 layers above ground and 6 located within the dome itself, for a total of 13. The Runes of Asgorath are likely housed within a central vault, which is believed to be located somewhere inside of the dome on one of the levels. The half-orc, Jacob Grimfang, speaks up once again. "You'll need to sneak in, without getting caught, find the central vault, steal the Runes of Asgorath, and get out quickly without anyone knowing you're there. It will be incredibly dangerous, so we will provide you with some resources to hopefully aid you in your task. The Shadow Fist opens a small box, producing two scrolls. Two scrolls of teleportation. One to get you to the outside of the city, and one to return you here once you complete your mission. Additionally, in the box, 4 small stone tablets with various arcane markings and runes, and a stone pin engraved at the end. 4 rune tabs, which have a vast array of random arcane effects. You should only use them in a time of great need. Please take these with you. The half-orc, Jacob Grimfing adds. Additionally, our armory is available for you to take what you need. If you have any questions, please follow the Shadow Fist down the hall to access the resources in the armory. With that, our team of 4 agents follows the Black Dragonborn into the armory, stocking up on various equipment, both mundane and magical, preparing for their journey ahead. As they prepare to leave, the Shadow Fist looks at them intently, grimly adding, "Do not fail this task, as we require this mission to be successful for future plans of ours to work." They head to the teleportation bay and activate one of the scrolls of teleportation. The 4 agents do their best to describe the destination, but instead appear off-target by chance, landing them in the middle of the ocean. In a time of great need, Billy pulls his rune tab, which resets all magical effects on the 4 of them to 23 minutes prior, landing them back in Nebula Core and allowing them to try once more. The second teleportation attempt was still not as successful, but it was better, landing them in the farming village of Swarfarm, within the Windsor Empire. Albatross recites a prayer to his patron, Asmodeus, who agrees to move them to the Kingdom of Luxtrax in exchange for 100 souls, within the hour. Informing his team, they ransack the village of Swarfarm, burning down several houses and murdering innocent civilians, but all to the completion of a pact, of which the Lord of the Nine honors and transports the groups to the Ameth mines of Luxtrax. It is here that the agents steal a buffalo-drawn cart and make haste for Goldvault over the next 4 days. Finally arriving at the population center of Goldvault, the towering vault facility proper standing above the rest of the city, the 4 agents make their way downtown to a tavern, pub, and inn known to the regular patrons as the Vault's Glee, though the tavern itself is actually named Glee and Gin. On a particular planned mission, the 4 agents split up, gathering information from the gods on their night off. A plot is hatched to steal the identity of 4 gods, and while stealing their IDs is quite easy, other problems do present themselves. To avoid the gods and the agents imposing as them from arriving at the terminal at the same time, the agents resolve to dispose of the actual men by luring them into private rooms via seductive measures, and then killing them quietly. Each of the 4 agents disguise themselves as women and proceed to draw the gods away from the bustling tavern. Once alone, the gods are eliminated and their bodies are disposed of. Our agents fashion their own armor, taking a quick rest, and arrive at the terminal the following morning. What the agents did not account for, simply because they did not know, was that arcane technology required a voice match to be spoken into a teletheric voice box after inserting the small ID coin token. A few minor mishaps tripped the system minorly, but Grimble cannot say the name of the god he is impersonating correctly, and thus trips a full-on alarm system. In a moment of need, he pulls his rune tab, and the booth explodes in tiny, razor-sharp leaves, causing chaos to ensue on the ground terminal. The 4 agents, each disguised still, board the shuttle pad, which is like a giant moth with feathers instead of crystalline wings, and arrive at the main gate. The alarm system triggers a full shutdown procedure, and our agents are some of the last ones to make it inside the Gold Vault before they are locked indoors. Proceeding to act normal, splitting up, rechanging their identities they are impersonating, and reporting to various posts to learn information. Our agents take on the task of infiltration stealthily. Greeth and Billy learn about the god shifts, the level layouts, and schedule. Grimble learns about the arcane defenses, using a sending stone modified into a headset-like contraption that is able to converse quickly throughout the facility. He also re-enchants one of those objects to act as a remote defense alteration device, capable of opening gates, doors, and disarming defenses temporarily. Albatross learns more about the facility and how it is monitored, gaining insight into the thousands of pink crystals known as view gems that provide a magic illusory projection of practically every inch of the facility. He also devises a plan that allows them to get into the central vault, or at least to it, maximizing their time to not be detected, allotting them roughly 30 minutes to get to the vault, get inside, grab what they need, and make a daring escape. After a 12-hour shift, the agents, still impersonating gods, reconvene and get a rest that evening. The following morning, as the work is returning to normal after the chaos of the day before, the four agents enact their plan at 6:30 a.m., giving them 30 minutes before the shift change and right on cue with guard rotation. Getting from level 7 down to level 8 is relatively quickly and easily, bypassing the gods and concealing their identities. However, as they approach the level lift, a keeper and an escort of 4 guards steps out of the door. The keeper begins to ask routine questions to the agents disguised as guards, which goes well at first, but on a slight suspicion, the keeper sends 2 additional guards with the group, making sure they get to level 9, where their supposed claimed post is supposed to be. Making their way down another level, they are forced to change their plan and lie about actual post, which costs them some time. Of the escort guards clear the area, and once they are moved, the agents regroup and make their way to level 10, where the central vault is located. They hastily make their way towards the main vault door, being stopped by guards along the way, but a few more lies and deceptions keep them clear and undercover. Arriving at the 16-foot tall, circular steel door to the vault, the agents are confronted with another complication. They learn that they need 11 separate keys to open the 22 iron pins that seal the vault door. Contemplating and hypothesizing that they could try to pick the locks, they do understand that time is running out, and the locks are incredibly complicated and secure. Greeth pulls his rune tab in his moment of need, gaining a mental timer in his head of 42 seconds. His body begins to heat up as he now recognizes that he is going to detonate in a large explosion, breaking his vow of silence to warn his teammates verbally. The other 3 agents begin to flee. Knowing they do not have enough time to make it off this level, Albatross pulls his rune tab, getting to cast a spell of 14 words that he speaks, and then are jumbled together to create a magical incantation. In best hopes, the Kinku speaks his words, and then Grimble casts a spell to hopefully prevent the blast damage. Unfortunately, the spell that Albatross creates only protects himself and Billy, but does not protect Grimble. With the now confirmed death of Greeth, the agents hold tight as Greeth detonates, sending a shockwave of sound and fire out from the middle of the dome of the Goldvault. As the barrier Grimble puts up collapses, he is burned to a crisp. Scared and bruised, barely alive, Albatross and Billy climb out of the rubble. The explosion was much larger than they originally anticipated, blowing a crack into the side of the entire structure, the central vault door now wide open, and they likely hypothesized no other survivors could have managed to withstand such a blast on this floor. Wasting no time, the 2 remaining agents enter the central vault with the arcane defenses are down, grabbing as much as they can, including the box, a wooden box with the Runes of Asgorath located inside them. And they use teleportation magic, now that the anti-magic barriers are also disabled, to return to Nexus City. Completing their task, despite being half their crew down, our agents get an approving smile from the Shadow Fist, as he tells them to freshen up and prepare for a debriefing report in an hour. As our story comes to an end, a successful, never-before-done infiltration and heist from the Goldvault in Luxtrax. This provides a new power to the Undershadows, and who knows what they'll do with that information and with that ability. But for now, that's it for this tale from Aelithia, Heist of the Goldvault, a short story.